Counselor, there's a raccoon stuck in the vending machine.
That's so annoying. I wanted a snack.
Welcome to Trail Mix.
Our mini episodes from Camp Counselors podcast.
Each week, the stories come from you, our Camp Shady Birch campers.
We want to hear your juicy gossip,
Top secret confessions,
embarrassing and scary stories,
and sprinkle in our sage counselor advice.
Trail Mix is for the campers.
And God, do we love you.
Hey, happy campers.
Welcome to Trail Mix.
Our inaugural episode.
I can't believe it. I'm so excited. New show, old segments, new segments, just a lot of fun.
Are you guys ready to hear us in your ear 2 times a week?
Twice a week. You guys are saints for doing it, but maybe you're a little blessed too. All depending.
Yes.
This is going to be really fun.
Yeah, it is. So we've gotten a lot of comments, as we've said before, about, the segments that we cut. Gossip Talk, Confession Canoe, Dear Counselors, Scary Stories Around the Campfire. It was a lot in one episode.
It was a lot to focus and read and do like 19 different segments. So the entire summer, we basically cut those from the original show. And if you've been a long-term listener, these segments, you understand what we're doing here. And if you've gone back, you definitely know. And I like doing the Wednesday show the way that it is now, but we were missing our OG juice. And we were seeing the comments and we were still getting emails.
Yeah.
So we thought the best way to combat this was to bring you a Monday mini-sode.
Each episode, we never know what we're going to get. Like Trail Mix.
Yeah, exactly. Every handful of some Trail Mix, you guys, think about it. It's like, oh, I'm getting all peanuts. Oh, wait, this one has a lot of chocolate. I see an M&M. What's that weird berry that they threw in this? I'm confused. I'm allergic to cranberry. You just never know what you're going to pour out. Much like this show, you never know what we're going to talk about and what segments we're going to cover.
Right, because we don't even know.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same structure every single week. We might do all of one segment, one of every single one. It's going to be very different. I'm telling you guys, if you're an OG camper or you've heard the old episodes, you get what's happening here. And if you're new, you're going to pick it up really quickly. But we just want to say thank you to our campers. This really is for you guys. It's all of your work, all of your incredible stories. And we're just so excited to be here and to highlight because we spent hours going through hundreds of emails.
I would
maybe
say
not hundreds, but
it was close to it because we haven't really checked since we cut the segments, which was back in the spring, and we spent about 3.5 or 4 hours
at least
each yesterday going through all the emails, and we only made it back through August and half of July.
Yeah, there was just so much. We had some old ones that were bookmarked that we never got to, went through some of the summer ones. So like we said before, if you feel like you had a great story and you didn't get it read on the show, it still might be in the mix. And we don't know, there's so many, and we're just trying to highlight the ones that really tickle our tits, but it doesn't mean that yours wasn't great. But if you want a chance at having your story right on the show, we would love that. You guys can send it right on campcounselorspodcast.com. There's a write-in tab. Just make your story really concise. And if you can try to write it the best you can, because sometimes they're really great and I just have a hard time getting through it. I'm I just don't think I have the reading level to be able to read that online. Yeah. And I'm just dumb. It's not you guys. I can't handle a 19-page monologue. It could be incredible. I just can't read that all.
Yeah, I was in remedial reading for sure.
Me too. So just keep it cute and we'll read it on the show because we already have so much already pulled for the first couple episodes. And I know when this airs,
we're gonna
get hit hard.
Yeah. And Sandwich, his vision's going. He can't read that much on blue screen.
It was hard for him. His Medicare card was lost in the mail. He set an appointment with the local optometrist. She hates him because they dated back in the 80s. And it was that was kind of creepy because Sandwich wasn't married at the time. And honestly, we should have him write in the show.
Honestly.
He has a peppered past, as you guys might remember. But yeah, really exciting. So for the sake of the inaugural episode of Trail Mix, which I'm just going to pat ourselves on the back, that name is so fucking good. It is so cute. It is so on brand. It's exactly what the show is. I'm obsessed. Just want to say that. We are going to do all 4 of our normal segments that we used to do. We're talking Gossip Talk, Dear Counselors, Confession Canoe, and Scary Stories. So we're doing all of them this episode. Next week's going to be a little different of a mix. It's whatever's fueling our fire that week.
I feel like they're going to be we're going to take what we're going to get because it's always going to be a good story. We're going to pick the good ones. We're going to pick the good ones.
We might be cherry picking, but this is a campground and we do have cherry trees. That's really funny because this week I was eating cherries on the couch and I was thinking I've never actually seen a cherry tree.
So I think I have.
Where were you?
Outside.
Well, I love that because there's nothing more magical than an indoor cherry tree because you've never seen one.
Well, maybe in a mall or a planetarium.
We want to bring cherry trees back to the malls. Enough of that.
Okay.
Let's get into trail mix, honey.
Get out of the water and onto the dock. You're not going to believe what I just heard.
Welcome back to Gossip Talk. It's been a minute.
Feels good to say.
I'm so excited. This is the part of the show where we read your stories, your gossip, your hot tea, what's boiling up in your chest, what you have to like get out into the public anonymously. We never share names here, but we do share it within the Camp Shady Birch campground.
Mm-hmm.
This group of campers is disgusting and in heat for drama 24/7. We almost feed off of it. We're in heat for drama. This is basically the Cullens, but we don't want blood. We want people's drama, people's tea.
We're almost done with the Twilight. I'm so excited, but that's not what this is about.
No, it's not. It's about you, okay? It's not about us. So without further ado, let me read our first Gossip Talk here at Trail Mix.
Let's do it.
Hi, happy counselors. So cute. I'm obsessed. Sorry, I'm excited. My gossip involves 4 people, but I'm not discounting everyone who was affected. We will call them Mom, Dad, Boyfriend, and Stacy. So one day, Mom was at work and she passed out while using the restroom. Her coworkers called Dad and an ambulance. Mom was sent to the hospital. Dad raced to the hospital and called their daughter Stacy on the way. He told her about Mom, asked her to run by Mom's work to grab her stuff, and then come directly to the hospital to be with Mom for a bit so that he could go back and get the rest of their kids. For context here, Stacy is in her mid-20s and the other kids are like teenagers, okay?
Okay.
So Stacy leaves her job, she runs to Mom's work, and she grabs her purse and then heads to the hospital. When Stacy gets to the hospital, she finds her mom is up and awake. Praise God. The doctor ran some tests and it seems like maybe she was just dehydrated. Like she was on the up and up after getting some fluids. And then Dad left to go grab the kids, okay?
Okay, got it.
Well, Stacy decides that her mom is feeling well enough to let her know that her burner cell phone was ringing off the hook the whole ride to the hospital. And of course, Stacy looked at the phone and what did she find? Evidence of Mom having a 5-year-long affair with a family friend.
Ooh.
Who happened to also be Mom's youngest son's soccer coach. Okay? So one of the teenage kids that's not there, his soccer coach, who is also married, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So both married couples. Stacy is furious with Mom. And when Dad gets back with the rest of her siblings, she calls Mom out in front of everyone, who is literally being discharged. So there's this like poor nurse and she's like, okay, here's your aftercare instructions. Go to CVS, pick up the medicine. And Stacy's like, by the way, Mom, you a hoe. Like, it's crazy. I like love that Stacy was so furious about it to keep it public. Because I love when people fight publicly.
I don't.
Well, 2 years later and both couples are still together. That's where we're at, okay? Mom and Dad did move way out in the country and most likely keep to themselves after this whole ordeal.
Okay.
The son, he did leave soccer. He had to quit the
Yeah,
team.
I think you have to.
But there is one good thing that came out of this. So during this whole like kind of ordeal for the mother, they found out that the mom did have Crohn's disease, which isn't good. But what is good about that is that a lot of Mom's siblings and family members also realized that they were sharing similar symptoms. So then the whole family also did a group diagnosis. And they're like, hey, I think a lot of us have Crohn's
disease.
And if it wasn't for Mom passing out on the toilet, the whole family wouldn't have known that they had Crohn's disease.
And then her drama was a byproduct because the cream always rises.
Exactly. Like looking back on it, guys, 20 years from now, are we really going to think about like Mom, like, you know?
Possibly, quite possibly. When I was growing up, this happened in my neighborhood.
Oh, with who?
I can't get into details because one of
Yes, you can.
No, because one of them was actually like a well-known like public person.
Why do you know so many famous people?
It wasn't fame, but if you're very niche in this area of attention, people would know who it is because it was a public thing.
Do you want to share any information about it or do you want to keep it all under
No,
wraps?
but it was very similar. Coach involved and things like that. I'll just leave it at that.
Always the soccer coach. I'm always curious too because I'm a drama mama. Like, what was the first little inkling?
It was at either that she's having it or like the first thing that opened up the
Pandora's box between mother and coach.
Maybe the orange slices.
Oh,
She's like, hey, coach.
hey, coach, I noticed that the kids were so dehydrated and craving citrus on the field. I brought them these fresh mandarin cuties. By the way, you're pretty cute yourself, coach.
Yeah, I wanted to quench your thirst.
Well, it also, we know what we don't get in this story, which I wish we had a little bit more context here.
What?
Well, how do we know it was 5 years?
What? It could have been text messages.
So she had time while the mother was in the hospital
Hey,
to
true.
go through the burner phone and be like, okay, I'm going as far back as these texts are. And for a mother to have a burner phone and to keep 5 years backlog of cheating is crazy.
Are you calling our camper a liar?
No, I'm not calling the camper liar. First of all, I don't think this is the camper's life.
No, but
I'm getting
that's
the vibe
true.
that this is someone that the camper knew. I think camper's best friends with Stacy. And
Oh.
wait, Stacy's mom has got it going on. She really does. And
Hey,
the
I
one
see what
the one
she did
part of the
there.
story that I did not I didn't read was that since the gossip spread like wildfire through the family, that's like, so through the Crohn's part, like the family members, like how they found out they had Crohn's was from this story.
Okay, so everybody's like, hey, like it's important for me to tell you that you might have Crohn's disease, but it's also important for me to tell you how we know you might.
Exactly. So the family, like they all found out through like the messiness, because nothing brings a family closer together than the demise of someone else. It's sad, but it's true.
Or issues with bowel movements. Is Crohn's disease passed down from generation to generation?
I would say so.
Okay. Yeah, we are. We have our doctorate, so we would know.
Yeah, we'll have to get the camp nurse in here. Camp Judy Bloom, camper, I mean,
We
Nurse
miss
Judy
you.
Bloom. Yeah, she's been off the grounds for a little bit now. You guys know what happened. There was an incident with a golf cart and a big Gatorade, you know those jugs?
Yeah.
It was full of ice.
Yeah.
So the golf cart didn't hit her, but someone thought they were going to do the ice bucket challenge with her, but it was ice. So a giant slab of ice just hit her in the head. Yeah, and it was awful. So we had to run her to the hospital. Someone was reading my burner phone. It's just, guys, long story short here, we don't need burner phones. Just keep it on your normal phone. It would have been safer.
I had a burner phone in high school.
No, you didn't. You said 2 different cell phones that you switched the SIM card. You can't call that a burner phone.
No.
You were so bougie. You had 2 cell phones.
I had 4 phones.
One for the plug and one for the low.
Yeah, I had multiple because I loved my BlackBerry. I was a BlackBerry boss, baby. And I would switch my SIM card here and there. And then for my birthday, my dad got me a customized BlackBerry that no one else had. It was white and it was exactly what I wanted. And it was all the way from Alaska. And that same week, I was like, oh my God, I love this. And then I also wanted an iPhone. So I got an iPhone too. And I didn't know that year when you were getting the iPhone, they were getting rid of the SIM card. So I was like, what do you mean I can't get my brand new phone that I literally got this week? I was spoiled and I feel bad about it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like this story, like just gives me all the context I need to know about your like tax bracket growing up. Because the fact that you had multiple phones being gifted to you when I was fighting for my life to get an NV3 at 16, like fighting, like mom, I think I need a cell phone now. And you're like, here's my birthday phone and my Christmas phone and my iPhone phone. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You had a lot of phones.
I did, but I liked to change it up. I just couldn't decide on one. It's ADHD.
I just want you to
best.
listen to that sentence back.
No,
I just like to change up. Babe, this isn't a t-shirt. This is a cell phone. Who has multiple cell phones?
Listen, I know. I'm thankful. I am blessed. Look at this ass. Look at these breasts. Like I am aware of the privilege and I'm thankful. But my burner phone, my mom had gone through our bills. I guess she had them like itemized or something. And she saw that I was texting and making calls during school in high school. So I went out and I got a track phone.
Oh.
And if she's listening to this now, I'm sorry, but I went out and I got a track phone, and Mark still has my number in his phone as like Jonathan's secret phone, because during school I'd be like, well, I'm still texting during school, but I'm texting on my track phone because it was like big consequences if I got caught texting.
Yeah, I get it. That's crazy.
During school hours, which I shouldn't have been, and it is what it is.
A track phone is really easy, guys, for a burner phone. If you're looking for a burner phone, might we suggest a track phone? Available at Walmart for $9.99.
Or in the camp counselor's gift shop.
Oh, guys, we do sell burner phones. We do. In the gift shop, because if you go there might be merch in the future. We're working on it. Wink, 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 wink. But there will be burner phones. Can you imagine if a camp gift shop sold burner phones?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm dying. Okay, guys, that was Gossip Dog. Oh, wait. It wasn't. There was one more cute thing in the end of the story. Can I read it?
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. She signed off, which I thought was so sweet and cool. She said, "Love you forever. Lots of fiber and water. And then she said green in cabin 3. P.S. I was an actual camp counselor when I was 17 to a group of 11 to 13-year-olds, and the counselors got to pick their own name. So she picked her name as Green, and one of her friends' name was Dude, and the other friend's name was Geode. So our counselor Green here, which we will call her a counselor because she already went through the course.
Yeah.
So this camper, she's been upgraded to counselor. She has.
Yeah.
So this counselor is asking us fellow counselors if we could go back in time at 16 and be able to pick our own names as counselors to a group of like teenagers. Is there a name that you'd like to pick? Because I think for the fun of it, you shouldn't pick like an actual name. Like they're picking objects and colors clearly.
The one that comes to mind, I was going to say Counselor Kardashian.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Because my pear-shaped frame.
Okay, yeah, you're definitely giving body, oddy. I would go with Counselor Creamy.
Oh, Council Creamy.
Because I love sour cream, and I just feel like sometimes I like to like speak creamy.
Oh my God, a great drag name would be Sarah Cream.
Oh,
Sarah Cream.
Okay, I see it. It's a little bit of a stretch, but we could work on it. We'll put it on the list.
Okay, perfect. Are we qualified to be giving advice? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Absolutely. Welcome back to Dear Counselors. This is the part of the show where we're giving unqualified advice. And if anything goes awry after you take our advice, legally, we are not to blame.
Yeah, you solicited this advice, okay? You asked us, and we're doing our best. We really try in this part, guys, to be a little bit more earnest, honest, and we really try to make the best decision, but it really is up to you, campers. So you do what you do.
So this was a bookmarked... Dear Counselors. This is coming from January 26th, 2023. Okay, so...
Oh my God, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a minute ago.
And I want to shout out this camper because you've been with us for a long time. And I love that. So
hopefully you're still here so you're listening and we can give you the advice.
How crazy she's going to make. I wrote this in 9 months ago.
And y'all are just getting around to it. Listen, we're sorry. We're getting to it. There's a lot in the inbox. We're going. Here we go. Dear Counselors, let me jump into it. Towards the end of the night at my best friend's bachelorette party, we met up with all the guys from the bachelor party. The bachelor himself, we'll call him Michael, grabbed my ass right in front of the bride-to-be.
Oh my God.
I pushed him off of me, and a friend of mine, we'll call her Annie, swatted his hand away. Annie escorted me to the bathroom, and we ended up leaving the bachelorette party and crying at our hotel for hours. I felt like I couldn't do or say anything about it. The wedding was in 2 days, and if I said something, I would have ruined my best friend's wedding. Michael is a liar and a manipulator. So I knew if I told her and she confronted him, he would gaslight her and paint me as the villain. I feared that it would destroy my friendship with her. It's been about 4 years, and now my bestie's marriage with Michael is on the rocks. I've been holding this secret for so long. Her husband is a selfish monster, and she deserves so much better.
Yes, she does.
I feel like I'm lying to her by keeping this secret, and I'm so worried that it'll harm our friendship. I get sick to my stomach about it, and I feel like it's time to spill the beans. Do you think she would be mad I've kept the secret for so long? Do you think she would be mad that I didn't tell her at all? Do you think her husband will ruin my friendship with her? What do I do? Signed, the crying camper in cabin 3.
So we picked this one, you guys, because I think this one was tricky. It was sticky and it was tricky. First of all, he's a fucking asshole because he did assault you. He touched you without your consent, and that is absolutely never okay. I do want to say for a minute that I understand why she wouldn't have said something the night of the bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh my God, people get drunk and you're like, your best friend's getting married and it's like in 2 days and all of this effort and energy. And how often are we seeing people protect people right before a wedding for the sole fact that the day is planned? When it's like, at the end of the day doesn't matter when you're like signing up for like a partnership. You know what I mean? That's more important. So I understand why you didn't say something. And I'm sorry that you felt like you couldn't, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say that too. That's an awful position to be in.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry that you feel like you've been in that position for 4 years now. And
yeah.
It could be 5 years by this point.
And let it be known, you are an amazing friend. And by telling her, which I think you should, I think whatever happens, just know in your heart of hearts that you are an amazing friend. And this happened in January, so I would love to hear this follow-up on what happened.
Yeah, or if they're still together or if she already told her or like what?
I think you should because this is the perfect like storm. Like you couldn't do it then or you felt like you shouldn't do it then. And now you're feeling like, hey, like He's an asshole. It's confirmed. It's been 4 years of a rocky relationship. She's probably on the way out. I would say something.
I would absolutely say that too. Like you have to tell her.
How would you tell her? Like if you were her, like would you Real Housewives status and like would you like set up a dinner and like present it in an information way?
I don't know if I would set up a dinner, but I would definitely tell it in an environment where he's not there. So invite her over. I mean, like in the vicinity.
I'm saying, like, imagine he's like there, and it's like, and I have something to say. It's like, no, definitely don't have him there.
Yeah, don't go to her house and tell her. Tell her at your house, and if she wants to do with that information what she will. Like you did your part. You have a clean conscience about it. Like you're telling the truth. If she's going to be mad at somebody, it can't be you. Like truly it can't be. And if she is mad at you, like that's on her.
I know. And if she gets mad at you, then clearly she's not ready to face the energy or the story of what actually happened. If you know in your heart of hearts what happened, what else matters? You know what I mean? Like you're not protecting anybody by keeping this a secret. You're only harming yourself because you need to be vindicated because you were wronged in this. You know what I mean? And I think she's being wrong now, but you also have to speak your piece and be honest. So I say in a safe environment with just her, you let her know. This is a really big secret. Thank God we're on a body of water. This is Confession Canoe. Welcome back to Confession Canoe. That was a really clever name that we came up with months ago, and I'm glad this segment is back. This is the part of the show where we read your confessions. These are things that you need to get off your chest. This is being eaten away at you like a little, what do they call the bugs that eat the wood?
A leech. A tick.
Oh, no, but these are...
termite.
All three of those were good. I was looking for termite, but the first two were...
parasite.
Also, no, I was looking for termite because I was looking for wood.
Okay.
I don't know why I was thinking termite. Anyways, what is the little termite in your inner tree? You know, and it's ruining you from the inside.
Your cherry tree.
Gotta get it out. Reminder that you can send anything for each of these segments to campcounselorpodcast.com and the write-in tab and let us know what you want to get off your chest. This camper did just that.
Okay,
Can I get into it?
Let's do it.
Dear Zachariah and Jonathan. Okay, so in the early 2000s, I was a young single mother. I had a decent 9-to-5 job, but was still struggling to make ends meet. So I started stripping on the weekends out of town.
As you should.
Support her. I was very secretive about it. At work, one of the other dancers and I became really good friends. So one night, we're working together and we end up entertaining these two guys who were so hilarious, super nice, and they were spending a ton of money. We stuck with them till closing and made the biggest bag either of us had ever made in a single night.
Wait, they what?
They
stuck with them?
Yeah, like they found these two guys and they were like, oh, these guys have money. We're going to like vibe with them all night.
Okay.
And at the end of it, they counted their ones and they were like, fuck.
Cool.
We made our biggest amount ever in one night.
As you should. Make that fat bag.
I know. I love that. It was great. At the end of the night, one of the guys asked if we'd be interested in doing a bachelor party for one of their friends. We both agreed, so I handed him my phone to put his number in. He entered his number under the name Ben.
Okay.
So Ben has a bachelor party to plan.
Big Ben.
Big Ben will call him. Okay. The next night, after a couple drinks, I texted Ben something along the lines of, hey, Benny boy, Candy and I are down to do the bachelor party. Here are our rates, etc. We had so much fun with you guys last night. Insert cute inside joke from the previous night, etc., etc.
Right.
Like very much like, hey, here's my rates. Here's like just, hey, we're
Customer
down.
service.
Customer service to a T. I'm obsessed. Fast forward a week later, my friend / coworker says to me, hey, remember those two funny guys who came in and dropped a huge bag on us? Did they ever get back to you about that bachelor party? So she's like, wait, that's so weird. They did not text me back. So she like goes and makes sure that she sent the text. Guys, no, she sent the text, but not to Ben. Another Ben in her phone.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Instant sweating, instant panic, mortified, horrified. To this day, my brother has never mentioned it and neither have I, but I know he saw the message. It wouldn't have been as bad if he had just heard I was working there, but he saw my stripper name, our rates, and the cutesy stripper way I talk to customers.
Oh, God.
I still cringe when I think about him opening that text. Sincerely, the retired stripper in cabin sex.
My God. How embarrassing.
I know. So this is a tale as old as time. This is probably as extreme as it does get when texting the wrong person. So like my agent the other day, she texted me, I was on the couch and she goes, I am so tired. And I was like, spill. Cause I thought it was going to be drama.
Yeah.
And she goes, huh? And I said, what? I said, are you tired? And then she goes, I am so tired again. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then she was like, oh my God. She thought she was texting her boyfriend, Zach, but I'm Zachariah. Like, that's happened. One time I sent a sexy picture to a guy named Jonathan when we were talking.
Yeah, with someone you worked with.
Well, yeah, it was this guy, Jonathan, I worked with. And then I realized it was the wrong Jonathan because he was like, what are you doing? And it wasn't like a full nude, I don't think.
No.
I don't know what it was. It wasn't
remember.
a full cock shot, but it was something along those lines. And thank God he had a sense of humor. So then I had to add stop signs on the back of his contact. And I talked to him the other day about something while we were in Massachusetts. And I was like, oh my God, he still has the stop signs after his name.
Because of that incident, my manager's name is Zach.
Yeah.
Same way that you spell it. So I put manager Zach and his last name after it. Because at the beginning, I just had it as Zach and then I had you as Zach. So it was like a bit confusing and I don't want to have that slip up with my manager.
Yeah. And I think these are pretty like simple, like silly whatevers. I think texting your brother and basically telling him that you're a stripper, that would go down in the Hall of Fame of worst moments of my life.
Yeah.
What would your stripper name be? Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, God.
I love those Facebook memes that are like, the last thing you ate, the color of your underwear, and your dog's maiden name.
Okay, then let's go with that. Last thing I ate, tuna niçoise.
Oh, wait. First of all, that's already so good. Keep going. Color of your...
Tuna niçoise.
Color of your underwear.
Blue.
Okay, blue.
And then the maiden name of my cat.
Yeah, well, yeah, that doesn't really make sense though. So, your cat's name.
Buffy.
So, tuna niçoise, blue Buffy.
That sounds, honestly, I'm liking that.
Wait, I love that. Mine would be Croque Madame Grey Puck.
Grey Puck.
I love that. Croque Madame, I think, would be a really good stripper name.
Yeah.
She brings the...
Madame. She's in charge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So she's not even working there. She's working the backstage. She's getting the girls nice and tight, nice and right. Kind of like, what was that movie that we're going to watch that you haven't seen in a long time that you weren't sure if you've seen? Saved by the Bell.
Showgirls.
Showgirls. Have you guys seen that movie?
Jesse Spano Gone Wild.
I know. That is like the most X-rated movie I've ever seen that just is not porn, but like is borderline. It ruined her career. It made my day when I watched it. So I hope she knows that it was still worthy of making because I found it to be just wildly entertaining.
And destigmatize and support sex workers, period.
Oh my God. Support sex workers all the time. I've only been in a strip club once and it was kind of crazy. I was just too young to be there. I was freshly 18. It was my 18th birthday. I've talked about this in the podcast before. So when you're on your 18th birthday, you're still a child. You know what I mean? Like legally, no, but like mentality for me, yes. So I just was like, just so nervous to be in the most adult setting I've ever been in my entire life. I want to go to one of those really expensive, wild, like crazy strip clubs. Like I want to go to one like in Vegas or Atlanta or like even New York, I guess. Not the wrong side of Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. If you were a stripper, how far would you work away from your home? Or would you just work in your hometown and not care?
Okay, see, that poses an interesting question because it's like, do I want to see someone that I used to work with at the grocery store?
So that's the reason why people typically don't work at their hometown. You know,
I don't know how far I would go. How far are we talking? New York?
I think just a mileage. It's
Upper East Side.
A difference of drive. It's crazy because 45 minutes away is not that far away. You know what I mean? If you think about it, like I'm willing to drive 45 minutes anywhere.
Yeah, for a good strip club if they have good food.
Yeah, and also it's like how many strip clubs are there? We're not talking about like grocery stores here. Like if you want to go, there's only so many options. You know what I mean? So like you really would have to drive pretty far. I think if you were desperately trying to like hide it, I would say safely 2 hours. I know that sounds crazy, but like I know how much I made a night as a server. I can only imagine how much money you make at a good strip club. Okay, you could probably make thousands of dollars.
Think about the time that you clock out and the time that you're making thousands of dollars. The club's closing out like 2-ish. You're 2 hours away. You're driving home till 4.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, if that's your lifestyle and that's what you're working, like you're probably going to bed at like 5. You know, you're doing overnights. I watched the movie Hustlers. That movie is so
It is so good. But at the same time, at the end of the day, who cares who you see? It's your workplace. So like if you want to work down the road, if it's on the same block as you, who cares? Maybe not for your own safety, maybe not the same block. But
I know. Well, we support sex workers. We support this story. I do not support sending texts to wrong people. It sucks when it happens and I feel really bad. But we love you. Thanks for writing in.
Scary stories around the campfire.
Welcome back to Scary Stories Around the Campfire. This is the part of the show where we talk about your embarrassing stories or your scary stories. Most of them are embarrassing, though. So I've got an embarrassing one from February 21st, 2023.
I cannot wait. I love it.
Hey, y'all. First off, I love you guys and I'm obsessed with your podcast. I didn't have to leave this in, but I am. I literally tell everything I hate to take a hike, and I'm unapologetic about it. And we love that for you. Here's the crappy story, pun intended. So my boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband of 10 years, and I were traveling home one weekend, and we stopped to get McDonald's. I was feeling extra risky when I decided to get chicken nuggets with buffalo sauce instead of barbecue. I clearly was not playing it safe. I don't like the buffalo sauce from McDonald's.
I do, but I also want to comment on like the idea of playing it safe with food. As someone with stomach issues, there are moments when you forget or your body just says, I don't care tonight. I want what I want. So I get why she's like, I'm playing it risky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does buffalo sauce like destroy you?
It doesn't destroy you, but sometimes spicy food, it's like the heat. You know what I mean? Like greasy food for me really destroys me. And I'm kind of getting ahead of what the story is going to be about. You guys can figure it out. But the buffalo can really activate some tummy problems. So I understand why she was being risky. I'm sorry. I'm going crazy. So
Holy Spirit, activate. All right. So I suffer from IBS. There we go.
There it was.
Which we all know that's just a diagnosis when your doctor can't figure out what's going on with your gut.
That literally happened to me, and I support that statement. They don't know, and they're like, it's IBS. It's like, guys, let's run another test, please. I'm sick of this.
Right, your bowels are just like, we're simply irritated. Bitch, I'm irritated too. With this doctor.
They're like, literally, I'm just pissed off. It's like, wow, I love that.
Okay, so I'd also like to note that I have no gallbladder.
That can make IBS so much worse.
What's a gallbladder?
So this is going to be wrong, but I'm just going to spread misinformation. That's what I do best. The gallbladder is almost like what liver does for liquor, and the gallbladder does that for food. It kind of like demystifies what's in the stomach. It's kind of like,
okay, so it's turning solid to gas.
It kind of is like the mailroom of the body. It's like you go here. It gives a little breather. It kind of is like it's like the chamber in between the stomach and the small intestine.
Oh, like the lounge.
It's the lounge. Yeah, it's basically the Delta Sky Lounge.
Yeah.
At the airport. There is a nurse/doctor out there listening to this and being like, absolutely incorrect. And I think that is so amazing. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
she doesn't have a gallbladder.
No gallbladder. So if that doesn't put into perspective how risky I was being that day, I don't know what will. Okay, yeah, that puts it in perspective for me. It's bad. It's looking like bad news bears, I guess.
Yes.
Also, fried food. It's greasy. It's gonna slip right out of you.
I know, but chicken nuggets with I'm sorry. They're so good from there. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, the road we were on to our destination was a long stretch of highway with no gas stations, no restaurants, no rest stops. I think you know where I'm going with this one. Suddenly, I had the urge to poop. The type of urgency where you have two options: throwing yourself out of a moving vehicle and ending it all, or pulling over and taking a dump in the woods.
I know what she means. I get it.
So I told my boyfriend I had to go immediately, and he understood the assignment. We couldn't remember where the nearest gas station was, so we pulled over and he let me run off into the wilderness, and I prayed I didn't get poison ivy on my rear end. I grabbed the McDonald's bag because luckily they gave me an ungodly amount of napkins.
That never happens.
Right. It's usually like no napkins. I'm like, how are you going to give me a bag of food with no napkins? I'm sorry, this isn't Take a Hike, but like, what am I wiping my mouth on the bag? I've done it before and I'll do it again.
I loved the visual of her like clenching, prairie dogging lava as she runs into the thicket with a bag of McDonald's.
So when I thought about, or when I was reading this the first time, I thought she was going to shit into the bag.
Oh, I thought that's where it was going too, but no, it's not, guys. It's not where it's going.
Yeah. Okay. So let me get back into it. Luckily they gave me ungodly amount of napkin, and I booked it into the woods. So it was a humbling experience, to say the least. And although it was 12 years ago, I still remember praying for God to make it end. Well, my prayers were answered. But let me tell you about the devil. I began wiping to then have the worst burning sensation I've ever had in my butt. In my butt. I dumped the whole bag out to find the stupid buffalo sauce had spilled onto every napkin, and I'd been wiping away the sins of McDonald's with the spicy buffalo sauce covered napkins.
Not the buffalo toilet paper.
I know how much it burns when you get shower gel in your asshole. We just end the episode here because the response I'm getting from you is making me vulnerable.
Sometimes if you really got to clean up there, if you're preparing for midnight mass,
yeah,
like I go up there with it and it doesn't burn me.
Oh, sometimes some brands do.
Okay, well that could happen, but I will say sometimes I've had the hottest shits of my life, like lava, and sometimes even when you're wiping, it's not feeling comfortable. But to wipe napkins filled with buffalo. First of all, I'm confused how this camper, and no shade, guys, how you weren't feeling the wet on wet.
I think it was just wet all around.
I think she just needed a big old fire hose to the asshole.
Yeah.
And to get it all that. This is why someone should be inventing a travel bidet.
A travel bidet. Yeah, like I guess like a douche.
Yeah, but no one's just driving around with a douche.
I have one in the glove box.
At all times?
Well, that's just the
Filled
guy
with malt
in me.
vinegar.
Ew. And buffalo sauce.
This poor camper.
I know. Okay, so let me get back to it. I could have just died right then, but I am strong camper.
She is strong camper.
Oh, she said, but I'm a strong camper. I just read it like an idiot.
Oh, okay.
But I am strong camper. Literally crying, I got back into the car and started telling my boyfriend about what happened. Here's the real kicker. Not even 2 minutes later, we came upon a damn gas station. Could I have made it? Who will ever know? But I can tell you that now I keep wipes with me at all times. Happy camping, and thanks for reading my embarrassing story. With all the love in the world, the camp survivalist.
Who knows if she even would have made it to that gas station.
Yeah, it was urgent.
If you're willing to shit in the woods out of a car, you weren't gonna make it much further. You know, sometimes I feel like you are the boyfriend in the story where like you understand if I look at you and we're driving and I'm like, I gotta shit, you know I'm not playing.
Yeah.
You will get me to point B because point A is slipping really fast.
Yeah, it happened to us when on my birthday, breakfast at Tiffany's tour. We thought you were gonna have to shit your pants, and I was already planning on running to Tommy Bahama's. Where was I going?
It was gonna be Ralph Lauren to get me a pair of denim.
Yeah,
because I almost shit myself at the park. I will say my IBS was definitely way worse in my early 20s. I feel like you haven't gotten the worst of it. It definitely was at points very bad. But I can say I've never wiped my ass with buffalo sauce.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it this afternoon.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna pause the production of the show, and we're just gonna do some anal swabs with some buffalo.
Just in solidarity.
In solidarity with this camper. I am strong camper.
I am strong camper.
Well,
I love that.
That's all we have for today's show, you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening.
This was the first official inaugural episode of Trail Mix.
How exciting.
We have a bunch more to film. We're going to film another one right after this, actually.
Yeah.
Keep the ball rolling. But thank you for listening, and we'll see you next Monday. And remember that if you want to submit in any of these stories, go to campcounselorspodcast.com and go to the writing tab and tell us what you want us to read. And with that being said,
Lights out, campers.